What's up, everybody? It's Troy Cartwright. Welcome back to another episode of 10-Year Town. Before we get started, I wanted to give you this week's stat of the week, powered by our friends over at Chartmetric. Today's stat is the number 3. That is the number of RIAA certifications this week's guest has earned, including a platinum record for his breakout hit, Giving You Up. Chartmetric makes it easy to track milestones like these and so much more, from streaming stats to touring history and radio spins. It's all there. If you want to uncover insights like this for yourself, head to chartmetric.com. Now, back to the show. Today's guest is Kameron Marlowe. You know Kameron from songs like Strangers, featuring Ella Langley, Burn 'Em All, and his new record, Sad Songs for the Soul. He's toured with artists like Luke Combs and Parker McCollum, and we get into all of that and much more. I really enjoyed this conversation. I know you guys will too. So without further ado, here he is, Kameron Marlowe. I feel like we've been hanging out because I've just been jamming your stuff the last like 2 or 3 days straight. Love the new record.
Thank you.
Love it. So I always start this thing off with the same question.
All right.
Just how long you been in town?
Oh, I feel bad. This is 10-year town, but I think I've only been here 5 going on 6.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's great. Where from originally?
Kannapolis, North Carolina.
Kannapolis?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
what part of North Carolina is that?
It's kind of in the middle. It's about 45 minutes outside of Charlotte.
Okay.
Home of Dale Earnhardt. That's what we have
Okay.
planned for. That's
There you
about
go.
it.
That's awesome. I've been to, my great aunt lives like Hendersonville.
Yeah.
Kind of by Asheville.
Yeah. I know that
Sorta.
area.
Yeah. It's really.
Is she doing all right after the storm?
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. She actually, she's in her late 70s. So she just moved. She lived on a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And she just moved down to like kind of like a community.
Okay.
You know, like she's like you know, it's like an independent living place, but there's like help if you need it, kind of a situation, because she lives alone.
Okay.
And that all got washed out. They didn't like, you know, they had like support because they were there, so they made sure they had like food and stuff.
That's
but yeah,
awesome.
dude, it was pretty like
It is brutal, man. There's a lot of people that lost a lot in North Carolina.
I heard like they just got like the roads reconnected or something.
Yeah, 40 just opened back, I'm pretty sure.
That's crazy.
So it's it was down bad. I mean, it's still down bad.
Yeah.
But
have you been back? Do you got family?
I have.
still?
I've drove through it. I hadn't got to stop anything. But yeah, luckily my family's a little lower.
Gotcha. Yeah, because it was a lot of like the river road
It was.
situation that kind of got washed out, right?
Yeah, man, it was crazy.
Wow, that's insane. So how did you get to Nashville? Like, what was the journey?
I have the fun story of I was on The Voice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I did the Voice thing. And this was like in a time where I was not really, like I was playing random bar gigs around North Carolina, but I didn't know what I was doing or
Totally
anything about the music industry. It kind of felt like a fable. Like I was like, oh, maybe I can be big in my hometown one day.
Yeah.
So I was like playing shows, randomly was posting stuff online, and The Voice contacted me. And they asked me if I wanted to do a tryout. Kind of thought it was fake.
Yeah.
Kind of pushed it off. I was like, this is definitely not
is
real.
This real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like sat there and contemplated it, gave them a call, and turned out to be real. Went to California and did that thing. But I think what happened for me is like I wasn't really obsessed with doing the show. I was more obsessed with the people that were there because they were all like from Nashville. Like I met so many songwriters out there, Dave Finley and. I mean, like I met so many people and I was like, man, this is really cool that y'all get to write songs for a living. I love to write songs. I just don't have, like, nobody's ever going to hear them because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I had, like, as soon as the show was over for me, I just kind of kept going back and forth from Carolina to Nashville.
Gotcha.
And that's how I...
And did doing that show, like, was it just people you met, or did like being on the show like open up some doors in Nashville? Like, how did that
I think
work?
it just opened up my eyes to be honest, because I was like, man, I didn't realize there was anything on the other side of, like, to actually be in the music industry. I didn't...
Yeah.
It was kind of like a pipe dream for me, and I was lucky enough to find my way here.
Yeah, dude, totally. I had a similar experience in that I had like I went to college, then I moved back to Texas where I'm from.
Yeah.
and I still didn't understand like the music industry. Like I didn't understand that you could go to Nashville and write songs. It sounded fake to me.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
People write songs?
Yeah.
And they just like
Wild.
live here? And that's a job.
Yeah. They get paid to do this. I've been doing this for free for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I felt. And then, I like ended up meeting somebody, and then I met somebody who was like working at Seagale, and then I took like a trip, and it was a similar thing, like opened my eyes to like, okay, this is a real place. This is a real thing. And I don't know how it was for you, but I was like, I got to move here.
Oh, it was immediate for me. I was like, man, well, I would say it was immediate. I was coming back and forth, and I like would go out to the bars, try and network at night.
Yeah.
And met these two guys, and they were like, hey man, we're like, if you're looking to move up here, like we're getting a house. And I was at Red Door. I'm probably, at this point, I know I'm probably drunk of the night. So I'm sitting there talking to them, and they're like, yeah, man, we're getting this house. Like, I will let you know when we find it, or like when we find the one that we're wanting to get. Yeah. And they hit me up, and I didn't think that they actually would. So I was like, yeah, I guess.
So you just did it.
I just did it. I jumped in. Wow. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Head first, man.
Did you have like, what were you doing for money at the time?
So I was still working my old job, which was, I was selling basically car parts for like the district. So I worked for GM. Okay. Basically selling car parts for my district. Wow.
It's like a real...
Yeah, like it real sucked. Skills. It sucked. No, definitely not. I just sat behind a desk and hit buttons, man. It was like, yeah.
And so were you doing that like remotely then, or did you just saved up, and then when you moved here, it was like, all right, I'm gonna give it a try?
I didn't even save up. I just knew I wanted to be here. Yeah. And I didn't know what it would take to be here. I knew that I like, since I was on The Voice, I able to have a connection on Broadway. Yeah. And I might be able to do that at Old Red. Okay. So that was kind of my shoe in. Hopefully I can do this. And luckily they accepted me when I got to town. I was able to start playing some Broadway shows. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's take a quick break here to tell you about our friends, the Graphic Guitar Guys. If you've ever thought about having a custom guitar, whether for merch, a giveaway, or a unique VIP package item, Graphic Guitar Guys makes it simple. They've worked with some of the biggest names in country music, handling everything from the guitar to full color graphics and shipping, and it's all for one easy price. They're also a great option for album pre-sale bundles or fan collectibles. I've worked with Scott and the rest of the team myself, and they really do make the whole process effortless. Check them out at thegraphicguitarguys.com. Now, back to the show. And did you start, like, at this point, I guess you knew like some songwriters and stuff. So
I did.
So were you able to sort of just start doing the, I call it like the shuffle, the Nashville dance of like, do you want to like write sometime? Or
yeah, that's always an awkward question, especially at bars. But yes, I would do that all the time. I was trying to hustle and meet as many people and write with as many people as I can. So I would, like, before I moved, I would come up, I would write 2 to 3 days, double headers, and then I would drive back after the weekend, try and make work. Yeah. Go to work, come back Friday. As soon as I left, I'd come back up here for another 2 days, use up all my sick time and leave time to be able to come over here. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Was it like an education of sorts? Like, had you co-written much before, or how did that work for you?
Dude, co-writing, the first time I did it, it was with a guy named Rob Wilford, and he was kind enough to let me write with him. And I had no idea what I was doing in the room. I had not a word to contribute. That poor guy sat there and wrote a whole song with me just kind of looking at him. Yeah. And I was like, man, I know how to write by myself, but like writing with another person is very different. And he taught me a lot. He taught me a lot of just like, I guess, the rules and like the of songwriting. Not that there's rules to songwriting, but like just like the fundamentals of songwriting. And that kind of started my, I guess, professional journey.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like, I don't know that anybody ever sits down and is like, here's the 10 commandments.
No, definitely not.
It's just like, I don't know, you learn as you go.
Yeah, you do.
But it's so, I feel like the first few years I was trying to just like, I was just afraid to say anything. It was like almost like afraid to like give my idea.
Absolutely. I feel like everybody kind of goes through that where like, I mean, I still do it sometimes. If I'm in there with like some heater songwriters, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to say this out loud. Yeah. But as you learn, you're like, well, that might spark something for somebody else if it's not right. And
right.
sometimes maybe it is right.
Yeah, when done correctly, the writer room is like a very safe space.
It is.
Where we're just like saying, it's like, I don't know if this is right.
Yeah.
But hear me out.
Yeah. Hear me out. This might lead to something, guys.
Peer
I promise.
pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
So at this point, you're writing, you're playing some. I think you said Old Red, doing the Broadway stuff.
Oh.
Did you have like any like lines on like getting like a publishing deal, or like how did that all kind of develop?
So I had met two guys from North Carolina, and they helped me so much, just to kind of like start taking my first couple meetings with people for publishing, and that was super helpful. That was like the new side for me. I was like, oh, I thought Broadway and all this was like going to be where I landed, and I was like, I'm glad to make it over to this side and start talking to some people that maybe want to hear what my original songs.
Yeah.
So I started taking those meetings, and then ended up meeting another guy who helped me for a little while, and then I met my manager, and then we took a deal with Sony Publishing,
Gotcha.
which was fantastic for me.
Yeah.
And record deal not long after that, or actually, I think the record deal was actually first.
Gotcha.
And then because I had put out a song that started working.
Okay.
And then publishing came after that.
So unpack that for me a little bit. Like the song starts working. What time period is this?
So this is within I would say 5 or 6 months. I had kind of recorded a couple songs that I had written.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of throwing stuff out to see if it would stick.
Was this like early social media TikTok days?
Very early. I mean, not even TikTok at this point. This was like 2019 was when I put my first song out.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that song kind of, I got lucky and it landed on a playlist. And
well, it was probably because it was good.
Well,
you know,
I still feel lucky that it was even made it on there. But it started working, and I was like beyond. I had no idea what was going on at all. I was like, I'm seeing money come in from a song that I wrote, which was wild.
Yeah,
and
because were you still independent?
Yeah, I was still independent.
Okay,
at that point.
gotcha. So it was like, I mean, it's crazy when that stuff starts streaming, especially when you're independent or whatever. Like, it's real money.
It is,
and it like almost like sometimes I'm like, are they like accounting correctly here?
I know. Absolutely. That first one I got, I was like, man, $200. Y'all actually listened to it for $200 worth of spins.
It's pretty crazy.
It was crazy, but yeah, I mean, it was life changing at that point because I had nothing when I moved here. I mean, I slept on an air mattress, and dude, like my favorite thing that I ever did was like when I got my publishing check. A lot of people like went out. They're like, "What did you ball out on?" I was like, "I got a mattress. I got a Nectar mattress. I still have that thing at the house too, my guest room."
That's amazing. So when the song came out, it starts working. It did all the label stuff. Did that kind of like happen pretty quickly?
It did, yeah. Like I said, I was very lucky, and I took a lot of meetings with record labels. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no business to be in those meetings. They were asking me questions that I could not answer. Like I've learned since, like the music industry, thank God. But before then, I had no idea what I was doing in there. Yeah. And I just went with the people that made me feel the most at home.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, this is
a gut thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what, what happened next?
Man, I started writing and listening to songs and trying to figure out what I wanted to say next and what I wanted my next project to be. And we put out an EP that did pretty well. And I was like, all right, well, that's really cool. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And then the world shuts down in 2020.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we were about to go out and play like our very first shows like in California. And we were stoked. We were playing with like Leonard Skinner, which is awesome. And I was like, man, I finally get to see Skinner live. I've never got to see him.
So sick.
And I was like, man, this is going to be awesome. And I'll never forget this, man. We were in Del Frisco's in the bottom underneath WME, and my agent comes down and he's like, hey, man, they're having to cancel the shows. I think we'll be able to reschedule them in a couple of weeks. But there's this thing called COVID.
Yeah. It's like beginning of March or something.
Yeah, beginning of March. Yeah. And I never got to make those shows up.
Yeah. Yeah, it went away for a while.
It did, man.
I was like loading up my car to like go. I think we were like opening for like, I mean, I don't even remember. It's like Brantley Gilbert or something. It was something sick. And then it's like kept calling my agent. I was like, do you think this is going to happen? Because I was like leaving on a Wednesday night for a third,
Yeah.
you know, it was a long drive.
Yeah.
And then
Did you end up leaving?
No.
Oh gosh.
I kind of had a feeling.
Did
I
you?
was
I
like,
don't
I'll just
know.
wake up early.
Yeah.
You know, it was right on the line. But yeah, I mean, and then obviously I didn't leave my house for like a really long time.
No kidding. I ended up going back home during that whole thing and just like
Yeah.
spent time with family. And I
Yeah.
think that was actually a great thing. I learned so much about songwriting in that period because
Yeah.
I was writing every day on Zoom, like 2 times a day at some point.
Yeah.
Just to try
Something to do.
Just something. Yeah.
Yeah. How many, so before everything shut down, like how many, did you have like a record done? Like how many
No,
songs
I had
did you have?
5 or 6 songs.
Okay.
That was out, I think out at the time. I had no plans for a record. Well, no, I think we had a plan for a record, but there was no recording that we were doing.
Yeah.
So it was more just
Working on
writing
songs
and
and-
trying to find the songs for that first one.
Yeah. And then when did you finally, like when were you finally able to like actually record it?
Golly, I want to say it was, I can't remember when the record came out, the first record. I want to say it was either very late 2020 or early 2021
Okay.
when we started cutting
Yeah.
those songs. I could be completely wrong. No, because in 2021 we took our very first tour with Brad Paisley, which was
that's
crazy.
amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome, man.
Yeah.
And I think we had 6 songs out, I think, at the time.
Okay.
And we played all 6 of them and one random cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I think after that, during that period while I was on that tour, I think is when I started to record a record.
How did you, because I think this is something people are always curious about, like everybody's process is different, but you'd made this EP and you were like, you know, like greener when you started and probably when you made those songs. So when you kind of got into it to make like a full record, how did you, like, what was your thought process on like the songs and like, did you have an idea of what you wanted to say?
Yeah, I absolutely did. I was very meticulous with the first record. I wanted everything to feel absolutely as authentic to me as it possibly could.
Yeah.
I wanted every song to say something and every song to kind of make you feel something. And whether that was heartache or happy or anything. So I just wanted to make sure that it felt like it was the most true record that I could make, because if it was the only one that I was ever going to get to make, I wanted it to be one that I could go down swinging with.
No doubt.
So I guess that was kind of the thought process behind it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And how was the tour?
Tour was great. I learned so much. Their camp was like boot camp for new idiots that were on the road.
Those are seasoned pros, right?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. We were idiots. Oh my gosh. We talk about this all the time, me and the band, of like just the stuff that we were doing. Like, I mean, we thought we were absolute rock stars. And we were not even slightly. We were first of 3, like on a massive tour. Had no business being on that stage, but golly, it was fun.
Yeah, you probably learned a lot.
We definitely did.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so I think like since then you've put out 2 more full records. Is that right?
I have, yeah.
Okay, so, and these are the ones that I was more listening to recently, but I guess, so you put out a record in was it 24?
I think it was 2022 was the first.
Yeah.
24 was the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I took my time.
Dude, there's
on
some
that.
great songs on there.
Dude, thank you so much. Yeah.
I really, like I just kind of listened to everything through, and it's really great. Who produced the 2024 record?
Dan
Okay,
Huff. Yeah,
awesome. What was it like working with Dan?
man, Dan is. I actually just told the story today, but he's like kind of a freak in nature.
Yeah.
Where like he can stand in a room, have a full conversation with you, away from the control board, away from the speakers, be actually in a room beside the tracking room.
Yeah.
And then be like, hey man, hold that thought. I heard something on bar 12. We need to go back. That's a 2 minor, not a 4. Or yeah. And it's like, dude, that's the wildest thing, that you can have a full conversation. It's like 2 sides of his brain are working at the same time. But he's brilliant, man.
Yeah,
he really is.
He's legendary for sure.
Absolutely.
Legendary status. So that record comes out at this point. Are you doing like touring kind of like full force? Are you doing more sports stuff or headline stuff? Like what did that look like at the time?
I've always been a big like believer in building everything from the ground up.
Yeah.
So I was like, we had done some support stuff, like some random things, odds and ends. But I was more focused on headlining.
Yeah.
I wanted to build it as like from the ground up with these people. and anybody would show up. I mean, we were playing 500 caps and maybe 100 people would show up, and then next week we would sell it out, and it would be like, it was kind of a wild whirlwind there.
Yeah.
But I think it really paid off for us, just because we learned how to create our live show a lot better. We learned a lot about being a band and how to, like, I guess, again, put the show together. And I think that was a big help for us.
Well, and I feel like there's something to it too, where like, that the people that are there for you.
Absolutely.
Which when you're doing a lot of support stuff, it can, I don't know. I've always found it was even like sort of like a head trip sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, do they like me?
Without
and then
a
I'm
doubt,
getting off stage and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I should have put this song forth,
Exactly. And we would have those battles all the times.
Yeah.
But like, especially like coming from the Paisley tour, we were like, man, I don't know if anybody even listened to the 3 notes of our set. Yeah. And then we would play a headline show, and then these people would be singing back songs that I didn't think that they would know.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is a wild thing.
Have you always had that mentality of like, you wanted to make sure you always had like kind of like a hard ticket fan base, or did somebody like give you that advice early on, or how did you kind of come to that conclusion?
I would say, I don't know. I think true fact of the matter is I got tired of like feeling like there was no one there, and then I played one headline show, and I was like, oh man, these people are actually like, they care to listen to these songs. Yeah, and I was like, we should do that. We need to build this thing up, and we were playing 130, 160 shows, like just touring our tails off. Yeah, and I think it really paid off for us in the long run.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I'm from Dallas originally, and I've got a buddy, Mitchell Ferguson, who I think opened some shows for you.
He is the man,
dude.
He's also hilarious and just like one of the nicest people of all time.
But he must have just opened for you at some point. It wasn't that long ago. It was within the last like 6 or 9 months. But he was raving about your show.
Oh man, that's awesome.
And just like, I mean, I think it was like well attended, but also like it was just like, it was a great show.
Yeah.
And I think that's, it's a special thing. Not a lot of people get that far, where they I don't know. It seems like you got the right like priorities, in terms of like building that out. I know it's I know it's like a lot of hard work.
No, man,
to do.
Definitely is. But again, I think it's worth it, man. Yeah. And I love, like, playing live is where I feel like my cup gets filled the most. Like, I mean, I love to write, but I feel like it's also a second side of my brain. Like, I'm not a writer that can write on the road. Mm-hmm. For me, it's like, if I'm on the road, I'm on the road. This is this side of my head. And then if I'm home, then that's when my songwriting comes out.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It's very different. I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people are like that, but I'm sure there is. But
I think so. I don't know. I've seen it both ways. Some people are just like max efficiency. Yeah. So they're like, if they're on the road, and obviously it depends on the artist. And sometimes once an artist is to a place where they have like their own bus, then it's easier to like take writers out. Maybe there's like more space and stuff like that. But I'm useless at writing on the road as well. Like just doesn't.
I'm useless at just about anything on the road. Like sleep till 11, like stay up till 3. Like terrible schedule, man.
Yeah, but you got so much adrenaline once you're off stage. Like, how are you going to go to bed?
Oh, dude, I'm telling you. Yeah, absolutely.
It's disorienting.
It is.
So I saw you're going out. Are you touring some with? You doing some more headline shows, and then are you playing with Parker?
Yeah, we're out with Parker. Okay. Yeah, but we're doing some headline shows, finishing up this last tour, and then
gotcha.
I think going until like October or something like that with Parker, which is gonna be great, man.
Oh, that's amazing.
We've done some early stuff with him, and he's a great artist, man.
Yeah,
great dude, great guy, great artist. Yeah, nothing but good things to say about him.
Yeah, man. I've known Parker a long time. We played. This was 10 years ago. We played the same Battle of the Bands at Larry Joe Taylor Fest.
That's killer.
Yeah. I think it was me, Parker, Randall King, and Cleto from Flatland.
No kidding, man. Yeah, what a stacked lineup right there.
So random. Like, looking back, that was a crazy thing to have happened.
Man, that's awesome.
But yeah, that's when I first met Parker, and he won, of course, yeah, he's amazing.
Dude, absolutely.
He's
Oh, Randall's really good too, man. I like that guy a lot.
Randall's amazing. Dude. Yeah, all those guys are killing it.
Absolutely.
What have been? I want to talk to you about your new record here in a second, but like, I feel like we've just breezed by so much. Like, what's like a high watermark for you along the way? Like, just some moments that that have stuck with you or meant a lot to you, or
the very first time that I got to play my hometown bar.
Yeah.
Like, it's a place called Coyote Joe's.
Yeah.
And that was like the pinnacle for me, because that's where I saw like my first concerts, and I was like, man, if we ever get to play that and like be a headliner there and not just be on like a random B night kind of thing, like that's awesome. And I think that was one. And then Luke Holmes was kind enough to have us out for his Ohio State Superfest. I can't remember, Country Superfest.
Yeah.
And it was at the Buckeye Stadium. Dang. And that was, I'm usually not someone that gets nervous before going on stage, but that was very different for me to step out in a stadium and like have that many people sing a song back that you wrote in your bedroom over a heartbreak
that's crazy.
That's something that never goes away, man.
Yeah. Yeah. That seems insane. Like, do you have to like even getting to the stage is different. You gotta like go in a golf cart.
Standing side stage and looking out, and you're like, this is a lot of dadgum people. And we got so lucky on that, dude. There was not going to be anyone there to hear us, and a rainstorm came in, like a freak storm came in, and they like held the gates back, and then everyone like flooded in, like right at the end, or like right as our show started, and we were like, holy crap, like there's a lot of dadgum people out there. But yeah, we got lucky on that.
That's amazing. It's that's just the universe, dude. It's paying it forward.
Absolutely.
All right, so you got this new record, Sad Songs for the Soul.
Yep.
Did I get that right?
You did. Dude,
I love this record.
Thank you.
It's really great.
Thank you.
I don't always like, I don't know. There's a lot of new music, so I don't always like find that I listen to stuff, but like I turned it on, I was like, wow, I like this song. Man. And I went on the next one. I was like, and before I knew it, I was just like listening to it. I was just enjoying it.
Oh man.
Did you always have it in your head that you wanted to make a record full of sad songs, which I think is like every songwriter's dream?
No, I think for me is I had written so many sad songs and had so many sad songs that I had loved, like on the outside as well. Like people had sent me that I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I was just kind of like, man, it would be really cool to just around fall time, like when everybody gets sad and depressed with the cold weather, like give them something to lean on, you know? And golly, man, it was such a blast to make this record, because I wasn't going in there worried, oh, is this going to be a hit? Oh, is this like, does the BPM need to change? Or are we going to cut this track to click? Or it was just a very open and free project. And it was like kind of a relief to make this project in a way.
You feel like you were kind of like swinging free, and
it was just like it was a very like, I didn't feel like I had much, not that I didn't have much freedom in putting my songs out, but just like that I didn't have much freedom in, I guess, what I truly could dig into. And I love sad songs, and I felt like if I gave it my all, maybe I could make something cool out of it. And I used Ben West on this project, and man, he absolutely crushed it. He got the vision of it like right out of the gate, and man, it was just such a fun project to make. We cut it in like this old Feed and Seed up in Gallatin.
Okay.
And it was just like the coolest studio. Like we had room mics everywhere.
Yeah.
Then like there's rain in there that from a rainstorm that like hit while we were singing, that we just stuck a mic outside. Like it felt like we were being artists, and I was like, man, this doesn't feel like a corporate, I need to like make this record everything. This is more just fun, you know?
Yeah, you're like just some kids playing in the sandbox.
It really was.
It's like a dream.
It was.
Yeah, Ben is dude, he's like I think Stephen Wilson Jr. called him like a firefly catcher.
Yeah, dude.
But he's just so he's just got some magic in him, man.
Yeah,
and like all like so many. It actually got weird. I kind of had to stop texting him because I would just be listening to music and this song would come on, and like the way it felt, I don't know how to describe it. It felt like a warm jacket. And I would text him. I'd be like, dude,
You did it again, man.
Of course you did this song. Yeah. And then like a week would go by and I would do it again. And like after like 4 weeks in a row, I was like, all right, this is probably getting kind of weird. We have written, I did like know him. I want to be clear. It wasn't totally random, but he's just magic, man. And like that shines through completely in your record. It's so warm. I think it pairs so well with your voice. You have a very, warm voice.
Appreciate that, man.
The one I was listening to on the way in here, How's the Leaving Going?
Yeah.
Great song.
Dude,
did you write that one?
I did. I wrote that with Vince Gill and oh my gosh. We can edit this out.
Lee
Thomas Miller. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's amazing.
Blanked on his name. But yeah, they both are, I mean, absolutely some of the best songwriters. They both have written some of my favorite songs of all time. And did y'all write that song? Were y'all just like writing? Was this for that project? Like how did that come about? Yeah, we were just writing. I got lucky enough to be asked to come on this retreat and write for some other people. And I was kind of focused on that. I wasn't really focused on my own like songs at that point.
Yeah.
And we had sat down, or first, I think me and Vince, like I'd never met him, so I was kind of talking to him, getting to know him a little bit and having a cup of coffee. And he was like, we should write later. And it was kind of just like that because me and Lee Thomas Miller had a write schedule and he just jumped in with us. And
wow,
it was just magic from the start. I mean, he started playing that guitar thing right out of the gate. And then Lee Thomas Miller had the freaking, like the hook already written basically. Wow. And it was just, it fell together so perfectly, man.
Oh, it's a great song. It's just like, I don't know, it's classic sounding, but still sounds fresh,
Yeah, appreciate that.
What are some other of your favorites on there?
Hello Whiskey is one of my personal favorites. I think maybe it's become more my favorite because we just started playing that one live and we've done it pretty rocking, which is real fun.
Yeah.
But I love the contrast of it, like how it hits that minor chord. I feel like you can feel it, like when it hits that verse. And I always have been a sucker for stuff that does that.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I guess perception is reality, but I feel like people are like really digging into it. Are you feeling that?
Dude, I am. Yeah. I was not expecting that. Like in my mind, this project was like not a throwaway project, but just like something I just wanted to get out for myself to kind of like realign my brain creatively and like kind of tune in myself.
And totally.
Cause I feel like last couple of years I've like been comparing myself a lot to like, should I be doing this sound? Should I be doing this sound? I'm like, no, man, you have your own sound. Why are you trying to chase things?
Yeah.
So that was kind of my like reinventing, I guess you could say.
Yeah. You're just refocusing. Yeah. Well, it's like the answer is almost always, I think it's human nature to want to look around.
Yeah.
And like, I think something that is like harder to talk about or people don't talk about it as much is like having some success can actually make it harder because you start to like, okay, when you're starting out, you're just competing against everybody else that's starting out. But then, okay, you have some success. Now you start getting some streams. Well, now like the field narrows.
Yes.
So there's like, okay, I'm kind of in the same spot as like these two artists over here, which is not, it's not a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
So there's no like real competition, but I totally understand the like, just the mental, it's a head game a little bit. And looking around.
It screwed me up for a while.
Yeah.
Like there was some times where I was like, why am I even here doing this music thing? Like I could go back and like live my life without all this stress on my shoulders.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? Like I'm here. I love music. Why am I trying to pull myself away from it? And I think the Sad Songs project is what really like changed the game for me.
Yeah, just like pulled you back into the thing. Well, and I think too when you're working, there's less time to like think about all that stuff.
Yeah.
The comparison and all that stuff. Because it's just like I'm just focused on making this record.
Absolutely.
And putting it out. And
it's one of those things where you gotta like, for me, I had to like delete Instagram off my phone, delete TikTok, all of it, because I was like, man, I just can't deal with it.
Yeah. Dude, I did the same.
Yeah.
I think,
it's worth it, man. It's worth it.
Well, dude, it's hard. It's funny to hear you say that because like I don't know if we've ever met before today. I don't think we have. So like, I just know you from social media.
Yeah.
And so like, before you walked in here today, I'm like, man, that's a guy that's got it figured out, man. Social media, like that's my perception.
Oh man, no, I'm glad you said that, because I definitely don't. I mean, I've since like downloaded the apps back and have been doing it.
I mean,
but
you got to post eventually, right?
Yeah, exactly. But man, I cannot, like, this is like the most stressful thing in the world for me. I feel like an old man trying to figure out like I feel like somebody from the 1920s trying to figure out a toaster oven again.
Yeah.
Like, and for the first time, I mean, like, what does this thing even do?
Right.
It's like crazy. Man.
Are you saying like after you took some time off from?
No, just in general.
The whole time?
Yeah, the whole time. I have no idea.
I feel like you do a great job of just like not. I feel like you're. Again, this is only what I see. I'm sure I'm seeing 1% of the stuff that you're posting, but it's like, I feel like you're always just showcasing the song. Which is like what it's about, right? You just hope that people connect to the song.
Yeah.
And I feel like you do a good job of that, and doesn't like, sometimes you watch something and it can like turn you off of like the artist almost. You're like, why is this person trying so hard? You never come across that way.
Oh, I appreciate that. So, I hope not.
So, I don't know if that makes you feel any better.
No, it definitely does. I needed that today, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's a hard world out there on the talk and the socials, man, because it's just a constant comparison trap, you know. But it's about the music at the end of the day, right?
And I could not agree more. And I feel like once I realized that again, I was like, man, I fell back in love with music. I was like, man, this is what it's all about. This is what fires up the kid that was playing on a bar stool back in Carolina.
That's amazing. So you has like putting this record out and like seeing how it's resonating with people, has that like brought a lot of new inspiration for you, like with what you're writing now?
Absolutely, man. I feel like I've been kind of on fire for writing again.
Yeah.
Which has been a blast to just kind of like dig into songs. And even if they're not for me, like just writing and just going down different creative outlets and trying to craft different songs in different ways. And because there for a little while, I feel like I started writing the same song like over and over again. I was like, I've written this before, but we'll say it a different way, I hope, and now I feel like I'm finding a way to get around that. And that's been super freeing.
Yeah. Are you saying just different ways to hook songs and just looking at stuff from different angles?
Yeah. Just looking at, trying to create a hook that is not always about the girl that left you, like,
Yeah. No, I totally know what you mean. Like just trying to find it's like a different way of saying something else. Yeah, almost.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really cool. Are there like certain? Do you have like certain like kind of like go-to writers that you? Oh man, that you work a lot with the most.
Absolutely. I think Wyatt McCubbin is one of the most brilliant writers that I've written with in Nashville. Kendall Marvel is another just standout. Austin Goodlow, incredible. Tucker Bethard, Casey Bethard, both of them. I don't know. There's something in the blood with that family. They are incredible songwriters. Yeah. Man, the list could go on for days.
Yeah, dude, those are great writers. Tucker and Casey especially. I'm like, should I quit?
Dude, no kid. I'll sit in a room with them and be like, yeah, that's a heck of a lot cooler than what I have written down. Yeah. That goes back to what we were saying earlier. Be like, I don't know if I should even say that out loud.
Yeah. Have you done like have you written with Tucker just like doing the two-way?
No, I haven't yet, but I really want to.
I just did that for the first time, and it was like he's so methodical, and he can be very quiet for a while. So I'm like sitting there, I'm like, did I just say the dumbest line of all time? Yeah. But I mean, clearly he's super brilliant.
Absolutely.
But and his dad as well. It's like something in the blood.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Well. What are you looking forward to next?
Man, I'm looking forward to, honestly, I get married in June. I'm looking forward to that. Man. Yeah, thank you, man. So I'm really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to the honeymoon. I feel like this wedding planning situation we've had going on has been a nightmare, but we're locking in, dude.
Oh man. Do you have you don't got to say where, but do you have like big honeymoon plans?
Yeah, we're gonna do Greece and Italy. I've never been out there. My fiance actually studied abroad in Italy for a while, So she knows it pretty well. So she wanted to go back and experience that. I was super wanting to see Greece. So
yeah. That's really cool. Is there anything like in particular you look forward to, or just the food and
I think just
the water?
The food, dude. Yeah, my fat ass, dude. I love some food, man. Anytime I can get out there and eat something different, I'm a big fan of that.
Food is unbelievable. I got one last question for you before we get out of here. I always like to ask people if you could kind of go back to the you that was like just getting started on the journey, like what's one piece of advice that you would give him for the path ahead?
Man, this is going to sound really screwed up, and I don't mean it to sound even conceited and remotely anyway. When I moved here and I started having all my success, I thought like I had it like figured out. I was like, dang, I got this town pegged. I know exactly what I need to do. And then you start throwing out something and it doesn't work. And I feel like that's when I started shutting down a little bit, and I was like, man, what am I doing? Yeah. So I'd say just keep on grinding and keep your blinders up, and always fight for the song no matter what. Yeah. Instead of trying to chase.
Yeah. That's great advice, man.
Appreciate it.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you.
And I appreciate it. And that's it. That's the pod. We'll see you later. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening. If you want to submit a question for one of our Q&A episodes, you can do so at tenuretowne.com. We would love it if you would join the Tenure Town community, which just means we'll send you updates via email about stuff we got going on. And of course, please rate and review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Wherever you listen or watch this thing, we appreciate you so much. See you next week.